Thank you, Jay. Well, Leanne Cusack has one of Canada's leading voices in alternative health in the studio today. Lele.
It's always a pleasure to have Bryce Wylde with us. Bryce is an alternative health expert. You've seen him a lot of places, including on Dr. Oz. But whenever you are in Ottawa, we're happy to have you in our studio.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Because you really, really do want people to take health matters into their own hands and offer a great sense of hope that we can sort of reverse some of the conditions.
Absolutely. We're talking about preventative medicine here, really. And you know what? We don't really sort of like to use the term alternative so much anymore. It's really more integrative, although I am the alternative health expert. Integrative, preventive, which really means what can we do, lifestyle, exercise, diet, nutrition, avoiding the age-old rhetoric to improve things like our eye health. You know, our eyes are like the window to our soul, but even more, they're a window into our health. And I'm catching patients all the time now with the preliminary, symptoms of diseases when I'm looking into their eyes, and it gives me that chance to look deeper into what their conditions may be. So,
what do you see?
Well, for one, there's trends going on right now with obesity. This is something we're aware about, but the connection to diabetes, so diabetic retinopathy, we call this cotton wooling. And I see this sort of very mild evidence and quickly send them off to their optometrist or their ophthalmologic doctor to get that further looked into. And often it'll come back that, yes, it's the preliminary pre-diabetic state that's caused this damage in the back of the eye. The good news is there's ways in which we can prevent that as well. But here's the shocking reality. 4.25 million Canadians suffer from some type of significant eye disease. And 1 in 7 have one of the big four, which is either glaucoma, cataracts, the diabetic retinopathy I was telling you about, or age-related macular degeneration, ARMD. And the unfortunate news is, in particular here in Canada, those rates are actually going to be increasing by 30% over the next decade, is what the experts think.
But there are things, not for all of the aforementioned conditions, but there are some things that you would like viewers to be aware of. And I guess we're going to have a little bit of a look at this model.
Not a lot of folks are really familiar with eye.
So how do we get more lutein and zeaxanthin?
All right, well, you're looking at a table full here of vegetables. We're told to eat more vegetables, the whole rainbow, 7 cups a day. And a lot of folks think that's really astonishing, but no, that's really kind of the minimum that we're set up for.
And you do such a beautiful job with your display.
Well, thank you so much. This is primarily a focused concentration on green, yellow, and red. And the reason why I chose those colors is because that's typically where we're going to find the lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids, very similar to beta-carotene, or vitamin A found in carrots. So kale, broccoli, of course, spinach, our squash. It's almost like a fall harvest here. Carrots you'll find a little bit in. I really love this guy here. This is Malaysian palm fruit oil. It's very sustainable, by the way. It's got to come from Malaysia. David Suzuki supports this one here. And the reason why it's got a lot of these carotenoids in it, amazing for eye health and heart health. And what you're looking at over here, some folks, a lot more now these days are more familiar with this, is goji berry, right? Goji berry has a ton of lutein in it, and this is, in fact, what the Chinese often affectionately refer to as eye candy. I mean, that's the real eye candy, okay?
That's funny.
So eating more of that, sprinkle it on your oatmeal in the morning, maybe over top of a salad, adds a real
And you've also
texture.
brought supplements along. We'll talk about the supplements when we come back, and I'm glad you talked about sustainability because the palm products we really try to avoid, so that is a sustainable product.
It is so look for the sustainability, actually, if you're concerned about that. We all should be. That's a sustainable logo on there. And that's what everyone should look at when we're talking about palm oil, because you don't want to just get any old palm oil.
Not at all. Yeah. We're going to be back. That was quite a primer, but when we come back, we're going to talk about eye exercises. We're going to chat about screen time.
That's right.
And I was really glad to hear that reading in the dark or dim light does not hurt your eyes.
No,
we'll be back with that and more Bryce Wylde.
Let's go back now to Leanne and Bryce.
Bryce Wylde is an alternative health expert, and he is with us focusing on eye health. Just to recap, David Suzuki has given this product the nod, and you even have the nod at long last from
Jane Goodall herself. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is a sustainable palm fruit oil here, which is very rich in carotenoids. That's right. We're not talking about the kernel oil that's in your snack food. It's puffy. It's like that because they want to avoid using trans fats.
Because we're all programmed to avoid palm oil, but as long as it's sustainable,
that's right. And look for the sustainability logo on it, which we showed the previous segment.
We had to recap that because it's very important. Absolutely. So while we're looking after our health, we have to look after the health of the environment as well. So Bryce has some supplements.